While most city builders politely ask you to expand outwards like a well-behaved spreadsheet, Corsair Cove forces you to construct your pirate haven up, down, and between towering cliffs before you strike out to sea for some good old pirating. I've been hands-on with a preview of the game, so I can share with you the 3 key elements that make it different to other similar games. But first, here's a 60-second, too long didn't read overview of Corsair Cove. At its core, this is a resource production and management game, much like the Tropico series, as it's made by the same developer. There are a ton of different resources and a whole bunch of different production chains as you try to create and defend your pirate cove. You're based on an island, allocating pirate workers to extract and refine resources, connecting every building to your central pirate hub, completing deeds to unlock upgrades, and eventually constructing ships. You sail those ships to different events away from your island, which triggers a series of story-themed battles, which boil down to you spending resources to select a particular card to play. Then a roll of the dice decides how effective your card is, while your AI opponent does the same. The game looks and sounds great. Building vertically up cliffs adds an interesting layer to the logistics. There's enough depth to keep resource-heavy fans turned on, and if you like pirates, grog, cards, and dice, there really is a lot for you to like in Corsair Cove. Inevitably, there's a lot that this game shares with other similar titles, such as the Tropico series and games like Anno 1800. So what makes this game different? Let's dive into the 3 main elements that make Corsair Cove stand out, other than the obvious fact that it looks and sounds bloody stunning. You're building on a cramped island where flat land comes at a premium, so very quickly you're forced to build upwards, layering your settlement on top of, or even on the face of, the many cliffs around your island. However, every structure needs to connect back to your central pirate hub, but instead of simple roads, you're dealing with a network of dirt paths, cliff walkways, ropes, ladders, and even winches. Now, that might sound like an absolute nightmare, but the game does hold your hand somewhat, because as you begin to place buildings, you get a dynamic preview that updates in real time, clearly showing what's buildable and how it connects to what's around it. These dynamic previews make it easy to see what you can and can't do, as well as the impact on the buildings nearby, which means you can focus on planning rather than fighting the controls. However, don't go thinking this means the game lacks depth. As your island fills up, logistics becomes increasingly complex until your neat little settlement turns into something that looks like it was designed by a giant spider during a caffeine overdose. Pirates are constantly moving resources across multiple vertical layers, and efficiency starts to depend on how well you've laid everything out. Exacerbated by production buildings having very limited internal storage, so if outputs aren't collected or inputs aren't delivered, everything grinds to a halt, which can quickly lead to an economic death spiral. In addition, you are in charge of directing the flow of resources because you decide which warehouses receive which finished goods and where raw materials are sourced from. Meaning, small decisions in layouts can have a big impact on overall efficiency. The game even gives you visual feedback on this because paths are color-coded based on how efficient they are. Green is good, yellow not so great, and red paths require improvement, so you can quickly and easily identify bottlenecks. If you've played Anno 1800, the core idea will feel familiar as you want to tightly group buildings that are in the same production chains, but the verticality adds an extra layer of challenge, as it's not just about distance anymore, it's about navigating height, terrain, and flow. And as you progress, you unlock new tools to improve that, such as rope-driven lifts on a winch that speed up movement between different levels. So while the game handles the basics for you, mastering the vertical logistics is where the real depth starts to emerge. The pirate theme in Corsair Cove isn't just cosmetic, it directly shapes how the game plays. A vital portion of the gameplay is built around keeping your pirates happy. At a basic level, they need food, grog, and somewhere to live. But as your settlement grows, you unlock more specialized pirates, who bring bonuses, particularly to your ships. The catch is, they come with more demanding and expensive needs. Okay, fine, so far that's any other city builder you've ever played, but this is where things start to get interesting. Pirates aren't exactly known for their discipline, so you're constantly managing the overall cohesion of your crew. Random events will force you to make tough calls, usually between 2 or 3 bad options, and every decision has consequences. If you get too greedy for gold or resources, your pirates may start to turn on each other. And if cohesion drops to 0, that's it. the game is over. You're not just growing a workforce of hard-working, well-meaning citizens, you're holding together a volatile, unpredictable society of cutthroats. And that ties directly into the game's exploration layer, because you'll be sending ships out into the world, onto the high seas, each crewed by different types of pirates, and led by a captain of your choice. The composition of that crew matters, because better pirates mean stronger ships, more successful expeditions, and access to greater rewards. But they're also harder to keep happy back home, and different ships, pirates, and captains are better suited to different situations. So there's a constant push and pull. Can you afford to invest in high-tier crews to dominate the seas, or is it safer to hire some basic crew with a sprinkle of expensive, high-tier swashbucklers? Although that balance between expansion, risk, and control is similar to other games, the pirate theme isn't just for show. It's intrinsically woven into the gameplay. Combat in Corsair Cove takes a very different approach compared to most city builders. Before long, you'll have your first ship and start exploring the map. Some encounters are simple, like quick resource grabs or opportunities to recruit new pirates. But others turn into full multi-stage battles, which is where the card and dice system comes in. The key stats are your ship's health and the number of crew members still alive. If either of those reach 0, you've lost that encounter. Each turn, you choose from a hand of cards by spending supplies to play them. Stronger cards obviously cost more, so you're constantly balancing impact versus resource management. At a basic level, cards deal damage, defend against damage, or you can sacrifice health to increase your supplies to play more and better cards. But the real twist is how that damage is calculated. Every card has a damage range, and when you play it, a dice roll determines where you land within that range. Roll high, high result. Roll low, low results. So you can play the perfect card and still get completely mugged off by a bad roll. You can also see what your opponent is about to do. So every turn becomes a calculated gamble of, do you spend big to counter their move? Do you play it safe and conserve supplies? Or do you risk a high-impact play that might not pay off? And that's what makes combat work on Corsair Cove. It's not just strategy, and it's not just luck. Although there is RNG, it's the tension between the two. You're constantly making informed decisions, but never with complete certainty. So what do you think? Does a combination of vertical building with a pirate theme create a resource-focused city builder that piques your interest? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video useful, consider leaving a like, as it really helps the channel reach more gamers, such as your good self. This channel is all about strategy game reviews, city builder previews, grand strategy deep dives, and everything in between. I won't beg you to subscribe, but I will thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.